I have now been driving for Uber and Lyft for 10 years. It's been a wild ride. Let's discuss. So when I started driving back in 2014, I never thought that I would be doing this consistently for 10 years straight. So why did I start driving for Lyft and Uber? Back in early 2014, I was looking for work. I was dreading finding another office job where I'd have to commute there every single day. I had worked at my previous position in marketing for a technology company for 7 years. It was a desk job, and one of the main things I wanted to do in a new position was to be able to work from home. I really disliked the monotony of needing to commute to a job that I knew that I could do from home. So I was on the job hunt. Then in February of 2014, I saw a promoted tweet from Lyft on Twitter announcing their launch in Minneapolis. For a while I was on my job search, I actually had this idea in my head to give people rides to the airport. I even posted an ad on Craigslist saying, I will give you a ride to the airport. I didn't even know that Lyft or UberX even existed. And in hindsight, it was definitely synchronistic that both Lyft and UberX were launching in my market at the time that I was looking for a job. But when I did start driving rideshare, I started with Lyft first. I had zero expectations that I would end up doing it full time. I just thought I would ease into it, earn some money on the side while I still looked for a full-time job. I have a bachelor's in business, and even though I did not want a desk job, I felt like that would be the eventual outcome of my job search, finding another desk job. So I started rideshare very slowly. On my first day with Lyft, I gave 9 rides. Back then, Lyft would send daily summaries to drivers after every day of driving, and here's that summary of my very first day. And while I was driving for Lyft, I learned of UberX launching in our market. I think Lyft launched a few weeks prior to UberX. Uber was kind of following Lyft into certain markets. So I was signed up for both Lyft and UberX. Back then, demand was not nearly what it is today. It took me a few months to figure out that I would want to do rideshare full time, but I just dove in. I loved the flexibility. I loved having complete control of my schedule. I'd never experienced anything like it. I was hooked. But at the time for me, it was the next closest thing to working from home. I was able to go online from my kitchen table. There was no need for a monotonous commute to a workplace to do my job. Part of me thought that I was wasting my degree by not finding another full-time job, but a big part of me just did not give a shit. I enjoyed what I was doing, and that's all that mattered. So now 10 years and nearly 25,000 rides later, I'm still driving for Uber and Lyft. I've seen massive growth. I've seen tons of changes to driver pay. I've seen countless iterations of the driver apps. So why have I stuck with it this long? First and foremost, for me, flexibility is paramount. There aren't many jobs where you can completely dictate your own schedule. You don't have to answer to anyone but yourself. Now, 95% of the time, I do actually stick to a consistent schedule. I drive the same days, the same hours. But the mentality of knowing that I am in complete control of my schedule, I don't have to show up to an office every single day at a specific time, that to me is freedom, and there's a certain quality of life to having that freedom. But I also love the variety of rideshare. It keeps you on your toes. You never know where you're going to end up throughout the day, how many different people you might meet, how many different interesting discussions you might have. But as with many jobs, there have been issues. I personally have always tried to evolve and work smarter, not harder. It's a big reason why I started following Harry here at the RideShare Guy and why I became a YouTube contributor 6.5 years ago. I enjoy sharing the knowledge and experience that I have gained and will continue to gain with the RideShare Guy community, and continue to try and push the ball forward for drivers. So 10 years for me driving rideshare. What about all of you? How long have you driven rideshare? I'm guessing not many of you have been around as long as I have. I'm also going to do another video on my lifetime stats and earnings with Lyft and Uber, so make sure you're subscribed so you see when that one is uploaded. If you've yet to download the Solo app, our referral link is in the description. We also have a free newsletter, and the link to sign up for that is in the description as well. If you've yet to watch my previous video on Uber's Trip Radar, be sure to check that one out. Thanks again for watching, and drive safe. Thanks.